What's up, guys? This is Jake with Casual Ecommerce, and in this video we're going to be talking about why Shopify will never die. So I know there's a lot of videos that pop up saying, is Shopify dead, is dropshipping dead? And in this video we're going to cover why it's never going to die and there's nothing that you need to worry about. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing we need to cover when we hop into this video is that Shopify in itself is just a software that allows you to build e-commerce stores. Now, I know this seems pretty obvious, but it seems like a lot of people don't seem to understand that simple notion. A lot of people seem to associate Shopify with the e-commerce industry in itself, or they think Shopify is an actual specific e-commerce strategy, when really all it is an e-commerce software that allows you to build the stores that you're selling on. So I just wanted to throw out that quick disclaimer before we get into this discussion. So getting into it, the reason that Shopify or e-commerce is what we're going to be talking about in this video, I just say Shopify because that's what a lot of people, that's what it's most commonly known as now, but for the rest of this video we're just going to call it e-commerce. So the reason e-commerce is not going to die is pretty obvious. So whenever you go online, get on the internet, how often do you see products being advertised online? How often do you buy products online? I'm going to take a guess and say that it's pretty often. So as long as the internet exists, products are going to be sold online. More and more people every day are moving towards buying products online. I pretty much buy 90% of my stuff online. I don't even go to the grocery store because I use an app to get it delivered. Point is, more and more stuff is moving online, so it's pretty asinine to think that selling physical products online is going to die either now or any time in the future. So I think what most people are talking about when they say, is Shopify dying, is the very niche specific dropshipping model. So now this is a completely different story. So this small niche of e-commerce, is there a possibility of it dying? Now, I'd say that there's a possibility of a very subset of dropshipping eventually dying off. So what do I mean by that? I think the AliExpress dropshipping model could eventually fall off. Right now, if you're active in the community and you're actively dropshipping AliExpress items, you would have found out that, it's getting more and more competitive. Profit margins are going down, but that doesn't mean that it's not working. It's just getting a lot harder, and a lot of niches within internet marketing seem to follow this same cycle, where when they're first discovered by a small amount of people, it's kind of like a gold rush, and a lot of people come in and it's really easy. And then as years pass, it gets harder and harder and more competitive, and then you actually have to be good at what you're doing in order to make money doing that specific tactic. So when most people are talking about, is Shopify dying, they're really just talking about, is this one tiny subset of e-commerce dying? Basically, is AliExpress dropshipping dying? And is that dying right now? If we ask ourselves that, I can personally say I don't think so. However, I can say that it's getting a lot more competitive. It's getting a lot tougher to do, so you actually have to be good at marketing now. And I do think it'd be a good idea to, if you've been doing dropshipping for a while from AliExpress, to try and broaden your horizon a little bit and try and move into other things. Like, we've covered videos on high ticket. I'll be covering videos on private labeling in the future. These are ways that you can kind of solidify your business long term. But one thing I can say is that all of the marketing tactics that you learn when you're selling low ticket AliExpress dropshipping products, these paid advertising tactics are going to help make you money for a very long time moving forward into the future, because paid advertising is always going to be in effect. Paid advertising is never going to die, and as long as the internet is around, then paid advertising, internet marketing is never going to die, and physical products are always going to be sold online. So E-commerce is one of the most stable industries to be in, as long as you're looking at it from a broad perspective. So this is why I say it's always a good idea to widen your horizons a little bit, because while specific subsets of an industry may fluctuate and may start to head down or get more competitive, like AliExpress dropshipping for an example, that doesn't mean that the entire industry as a whole isn't still going up, because the e-commerce industry is still just skyrocketing. I mean, you can see a lot of big box stores, a lot of physical stores, they just keep closing more and more locations, and that's because everyone is buying their stuff online. So people aren't buying things online any less. It's just that this very specific subset of the e-commerce industry is getting more competitive. So it's causing a lot of fear. People think stuff is dying. People think that the entire industry is going to die, but it really isn't. It's literally just this one tactic. It's literally less than 1% of the entire e-commerce industry. So I can see why there would be fear though, because let's say if all of your income is from dropshipping AliExpress items, I can definitely see why you'd want to, figure out, like, is this something that's not going to work in a couple of years, which, is a good question, which is why I always say that in business, you should always be evolving and moving forward, trying to stay ahead of the curve and see what's next on the horizon. So my suggestion would be that if your primary income is AliExpress dropshipping, that is completely fine. However, I would start to learn different subsets within e-commerce. So it's not like you're learning a whole new skill set, but maybe you just learn how to advertise high-ticket products, or maybe you're just learning how to create your own products, which I feel like is kind of like the pinnacle of e-commerce, is obviously creating your own products, because then you have 100% control. You can build a powerhouse brand and stuff like that. So I don't want to turn this into a huge rambling session. I just wanted to get the point across that Shopify is never really going to die. Well, e-commerce is never really going to die. I can't speak for Shopify as a company. They might go bankrupt. I don't see that happening, but I can't speak for them as a company. But I can say that e-commerce, as long as the internet is around, people are going to be buying physical products online. So that's never going to go away. So if you're getting into e-commerce, or if you've been in e-commerce for a while, that's just not something you have to worry about. You can just go ahead and put that out of your mind and then focus on continuing to build your skill set. So with that said, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Join our free e-commerce Facebook group. Link will be in the description. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and I'll see you guys in another video.